Imagine walking into a room full of people who love you, support you, and want nothing but the best for you. It feels safe, it feels peaceful, but your eyes completely bypass them. Instead, your gaze locks onto the one person in the corner who seems completely emotionally unavailable. The one person whose validation you have to fight for. The one person who makes you feel like you are walking on eggshells. Your logical mind is screaming at you to run in the opposite direction. It tells you that this person is trouble, that this dynamic is exhausting, and that you deserve peace. Yet something deeper inside you, something raw, primal, and incredibly powerful, pulls you right toward them. You don't just walk toward them, you run. Have you ever wondered why your brain does this? Why does it feel like we are hardwired to crave the exact people who tear us apart? Why does peace feel boring while chaos feels like chemistry? We like to think we are rational creatures who look for happiness, but the truth is far more unsettling. Your brain doesn't actually care about your happiness. Your brain cares about familiarity, prediction, and chemical highs. And when it comes to toxic relationships, your brain isn't just making a bad mistake, it is actively running a beautifully complex, deeply flawed survival program that was written when you were just a child. We call it love. We call it passion. We call it an unbreakable bond. But neurologically, it is an addiction. And until you understand the hidden code running inside your mind, you will keep downloading the exact same relationship, just with a different face. To understand why your brain falls in love with chaos, you have to understand how it processes pain and pleasure. In a healthy, stable relationship, your brain experiences a steady, predictable stream of feel-good chemicals. It's like a warm, glowing fire. It keeps you safe. It keeps you comfortable, but it doesn't give you a massive rush. Now look at a toxic relationship. A toxic relationship operates on a psychological mechanism called intermittent reinforcement. This is the exact same mechanism that makes slot machines the most addictive games in any casino. Imagine a slot machine that pays out every single time you pull the lever. If you put $1 in and get $2 back every single time, you will quickly get bored. It becomes a job. It becomes predictable. Now imagine a slot machine that never pays out. You put $1 in, you lose. You put another dollar in, you lose. Very quickly, you walk away because you realize it's broken. But what happens if the slot machine pays out completely at random? You pull the lever and lose 10 times in a row. You are frustrated, you're desperate, your stress levels are through the roof. And then on the 11th pull, jackpot! The lights flash, the music plays, and your brain is hit with a massive, overwhelming flood of dopamine. Because the reward was unpredictable, the dopamine spike is up to 3 times higher than it would be if the machine paid out every time. This is exactly what happens with a toxic partner. One day they love you, they shower you with affection, they tell you you are their soulmate. The next day, for no apparent reason, they withdraw. They become cold, critical, or completely distant. You are plunged into psychological withdrawal. Your cortisol and adrenaline levels skyrocket. You feel anxious, panicked, and desperate to fix it. You pull the lever over and over again. You apologize for things you didn't do. You change your behavior. You beg for their attention. And then, out of nowhere, they smile at you. They hold your hand. They give you a crumb of validation. In that exact moment, your brain experiences a neurological jackpot. The relief is so intense, the chemical rush is so overwhelming that your brain registers this person as the ultimate source of pleasure. You mistake the sudden relief from the pain they caused for deep, profound love. Your brain learns a dangerous lesson. The higher the wall of anxiety you have to climb, the sweeter the view on the other side. You become addicted to the cycle of the makeup after the breakup, the peace after the storm. Without even realizing it, healthy relationships start to feel dead to you because they lack the terrifying lows that make the highs feel so intoxicating. But the chemical trap goes deeper than dopamine. It taps into our deepest human need, the need for attachment. When you are in a toxic relationship, you are constantly under stress.
You are living in a low-grade state of fight or flight, wondering when the next argument will start or when the silent treatment will begin. When your body is under stress, it releases cortisol. But humans cannot survive in a permanent state of high stress. We naturally seek comfort to balance it out. And ironically, the human brain is wired to seek comfort from the very person who is causing the stress. When a toxic partner finally pulls you close after pushing you away, your brain releases a massive wave of oxytocin, the attachment hormone. Oxytocin is the chemical that bonds a mother to her newborn baby. It creates a sense of deep safety, trust, and attachment. When oxytocin mixes with the high-stress cortisol and the jackpot dopamine, it creates a psychological phenomenon known as a trauma bond. A trauma bond is an incredibly powerful emotional attachment that forms between a person and their abuser or manipulator. It is a bond forged in the fires of shared pain and survival. This is why leaving a toxic person feels physically painful. It is why you can sit with your friends, logically list every terrible thing this person has done to you, agree that you deserve better, and then text them the second you get into your car. Your logical mind, located in your prefrontal cortex, knows they're bad for you, but your emotional survival center, the amygdala, doesn't care about logic. It feels like you are starving, and that person holds the only piece of bread in the world. When you try to leave, you aren't just breaking up with a person, you are going through a physical, chemical detox. Your brain is begging for its next fix, and it will distort your memories, minimize the abuse, and highlight the good moments just to trick you into going back to get that chemical relief. Yet we cannot blame biology alone. The chemicals are just the fuel. The blueprint was drawn long ago. If you want to know why your brain chooses toxic people today, you have to look at how it learned what love looked like when you were a child. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Its primary goal is to keep you alive, and to do that, it favors whatever is familiar, because familiar feels safe, even if that familiarity is actually painful. When you were a child, your parents or primary caregivers were your entire world. They were your definition of love and security. If you grew up in an environment where love was conditional, where you only received affection when you achieved something, when you were quiet, or when you perfectly managed your parents' volatile emotions, your brain created a neurological equation. That equation says love equals struggle. Love equals ignoring my own needs to keep someone else happy. Love equals being abandoned and having to fight to bring them back. If you grew up with a parent who was emotionally distant, critical, or unpredictable, your childhood self spent years trying to solve that puzzle. You thought, if I can just be perfect enough, they will love me. You never solved it because it was an impossible task. So you grew up, entered the adult world, and your subconscious went out searching for a matching puzzle piece. When you meet someone who is emotionally stable, secure, and consistently loving, your brain looks at them and thinks, this doesn't match the blueprint. This doesn't feel like love. This feels boring. But when you meet someone who is unpredictable, distant, or critical, your subconscious lights up. It thinks, aha, this is it. This feels like home. This is the familiar puzzle I've been trying to solve my whole life. You don't choose toxic people because you love pain. You choose them because your subconscious mind is desperately trying to rewrite your childhood script. It believes that if it can just find someone who looks and acts like the person who hurt you in the past and finally convince this new person to love you, you will finally heal the original wound.